Alright, much brew time. Playing some Esper, Solemnity, whatever you want to call it, in Modern. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. So it could be Storm, I guess. Opponent's name is Storm. Wilt Storm. Okay. So Storm seeming more likely. Oh, Watery Grave. Okay. Interesting. So Death Shadow? There's the Thoughtseize for our opponent. Trying to figure out what to take. Hard to say without knowing their hand. Decides on Thoughtseize. Interesting. Well, play Tar Pit, pass the turn. Polluted Delta. Cracks it. Steam Vents. Untapped. So, Death Shadow time. Serum Visions. Unfortunately, we don't have a 2-drop. We can just run out. Opponent passes. Well, play Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Opponent left both cards on top. Probably bad news. Bloodstained Mire. Cracks it. Watery Grave. Untap down to 9. Well, that's Death Shadow life total. What do they have? A Delve creature? Alright, Grimag Angler. Leaving up mana to pay for... to cast a Stubborn Denial. Well, crack Flooded Strand. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. More lands. Well, let's Flooded Strand. Crack it. Grab an island. Run out Ghostly Prison. Resolves. I guess our opponent figures they can just pay and still leave up Stubborn Denial. Serum Visions. Our lock should be good in Game 1 at least, and potentially in Game 2 as well. They might have Engineered Explosives in their sideboard, but the lock is super good if we can get it down. The challenge is sneaking it through the discard and the counters. Opponent, both on top again. Finds a swamp. Alright, so they have mana they can attack and leave up a counter. Gets in with Angler. Pays 2. Yep. Fatal Push. Not the removal spell we were hoping for here. They probably have a basic island, I would guess. They should have one. Yeah, I should have one island and one swamp. But very few outs to what we're doing, if we can resolve it. Well, let's Transmute Drift. Get Detention Sphere. Play Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent finds a Thoughtseize. Oh, good God! Good God! Well, I guess this deck plays a lot of Thoughtseizes. Unfortunate that their threat... They take the Fatal Push. Interesting. Plays a Death Shadow. Opponent passes. 6. So, we're very likely dead next turn, which is not good. Play Detention Sphere. There's a Stubborn Denial, of course. Play a Plains, pass the turn. Yeah, I think if they can lose some life, they can just kill us. Wow. They always got them Stubborn Denials. Oh, our lock is so good. This deck usually only has 2 Stubborn Denials, too. So it's kind of maybe unfortunate that our opponent managed to find both of them. Or managed to find one. Opponent, what are you doing? What are you doing? Gets in with Death Shadow, leaving up mana. Do they really have both? They just have both of their... really? If they really just have 2 of 2 Stubborn Denials, there's not a whole lot we can do. Opponent passes. We'll play Ghost Quarter. Play Phyrexian Unlife. Yeah, I mean, they got them both. That's just unfortunate. Pass the turn. Yeah. Alright. I actually think this, is one of our better matchups. It's not playing out like this time. Our opponent was on the draw. They got to Thoughtseize before we got to Thoughtseize. And then they got to, for some reason, just have all their Stubborn Denials on the top of their deck. And that's the game. We're not going to show our opponent the cards in our hand. Alright, well, Death Shadow doing what Death Shadow does. Drawing all their disruption. Alright, Death Shadow. So, against Death Shadow, we mostly just want to resolve our lock and win the game. It's that simple. It's not complicated. They don't have answers. Maybe they have one answer in the sideboard, possibly in Engineered Explosives. It could be an answer in their sideboard, but they really don't have much to interact with what we're doing, which is the very good news. I think we'll bring in the Kitchen Finks, go down Collector Brutality, and just run it like that. Alright, we're on the play. Oh, this mana. So we have tap, one of our very few tap lands. I think we gotta mulligan it. We can't even cast, oh no. Not good, not good. We'll keep it. But this is a little bit sketchier than we hoped. Rune Halo to the bottom. Well, Flooded Strand, crack it. Get our Godless Shrine. Inquisition, our opponent. Painful Truce, Inquisition, Gurmag Angler, Tassiger. Well, we'll take the Inquisition, I guess. Pass the turn. Man, they got all their big dredge things. And we don't have lands. Polluted Delta. Opponent passes. Search for Escanta is a sweet card, but not coming down on turn 2 this game. Oh, this is like the nightmare situation here. This is not how we were hoping this would go. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, pass the turn. Just disappointing because, man, we got good cards against this deck. Like, we have so many I win cards against Death Shadow. And they definitely can Thought Seize them and Stubborn Denial them. Like we saw in Game 1 where our opponent just drew roughly all of their disruption. So that does happen sometimes. But this is a matchup I definitely want to play. But I don't want to play this matchup stuck on one land and mulliganing. That's not how we want to do it. Opponent has 2 lands at least. There's a Bloodstained Mire. So actually our opponent has 3 lands. Yep. Opponent passes. We do not draw land. Well, the dream is dying. The dream is quickly dying. Opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire. They can also refill their hand with Painful Truce, gets a Blood Crypt, untap down to 14. We know they got a Swamp because we saw it. They drew another land, Steam Vents. Well, no land troubles for our opponent today. Painful Truce draws a bunch of cards. Well, come on, deck, if you ever wanted to give us a land. It is not a land. Alright. Well, that's how it ends, unfortunately. Watery Grave, untapped. Serum Visions for our opponent. Yep. Opponent finds a Thoughtseize, and that is probably game since we are so severely crippled on mana. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Yeah. Well, this has just been the nightmare. Opponent drew into Death Shadow, so I just drew Mono Threats. Alright, it's a joke. It is a joke. So our opponent, we saw their hand, and it wasn't very good, but apparently their Painful Truce hit Thoughtseize, Death Shadow, which, I mean, that's a nuts. So, I mean, we weren't going to win anyway in a million years. It's turn 5. We never drew a second land, so, well, that wraps it up, unfortunately. Oh, man. So, this is, I think, the most disappointed I've ever been finishing 3-1. Because I think this deck is legit, and I think we are probably favored, or at least 50-50 with Death Shadow, and we got mana screwed. And then the other match we lost was to kind of getting rules lawyered by Magic Online with the F6 stuff. So, I feel like we legitimately lost to Death Shadow, but there were extenuating circumstances, so I feel like our performance was really like a 4-1, I guess, with losing a matchup that I feel like we are in pretty good shape against as far as Death Shadow's concerned, because they're just drawing dead to so many of our cards if we get them down. So, I don't know. We'll open the treasure chest. Technically, it's a 3-1, but man, is that a frustrating, sad 3-1. Not the finish that I was hoping for, so, what can you do? We get 1 treasure chest to open. Maybe there is a complete set. I'm sure there's not, because there never is. We get, Sword of Body and Mind. It is sweet looking. Masterpiece Sword of Body and Mind. I think it is probably worth roughly $0. Sword of Body and Mind, Masterpiece Edition, Magic Online, 92 cents. Yeah. So, it's cool looking, though. We can add it to our Masterpiece collection, so don't mind having a Sword of Body and Mind in our collection. Well, I guess that does it for Esper, Solemnity, Zur, whatever we want to call it. I really wish we won another game. I'm a little bit sad. Alright. I will be back with a wrap-up in a minute. Thanks for watching the video. If you're subscribed, make sure to hit that bell icon to get notifications for all the latest videos. It's a great way to support the channel for free, and you can find the next video right here.